Certain kind of men are nasty. When I used to go to an expensive private gym of mostly financially stable men who were very animated at showering, it was hard to not look because they took so long to wash other body parts and essentially saying they never washed their abs.
I also no longer hang around rich people. They stank. Rich people smell so bad, and it's because they've gotten all that money. They feel like they don't have to shower.
Rich people smell like shit or like nothing at all. I've seen some posts from fragrance creators talking about scents that are going to make you smell rich or how to smell like old money. I think that those are inappropriately titled. I think they should actually be called how to smell better than old money or how to smell better than a rich person.
Hi guys, welcome back to our channel. In case you're new here, my name is Maren.
And I'm Maureen. Have you ever heard of a phrase that people say, especially people who sell perfume, that if you want to smell good or if you want to smell like a rich person, you should buy A, B, and C perfumes.
Old money.
Oh, yes. If you want to smell like old money, you should buy A, B, and C perfumes. Apparently, in today's episode, it's not only the regular white folks who are being accused of poor hygiene. Also, rich white folks are gonna be accused of having very poor hygiene, and they don't even use deodorants. And in today's episode, speakers are gonna be dispelling the saying, if you want to smell like old money, buy A, B, and C perfume, because people do not smell good when they have money. White people.
And guys, I was so surprised by what I was hearing. And these are personal accounts from people who have either worked for or been in close proximity to these rich white people, right? And my question was, why is it that we are not hearing of black celebrities who stink like this? You know, because...
Or who've made this list. Because once upon a time, I don't know, guys, when Rihanna used to attend a lot of red carpets, a lot of people who would compliment her, especially are rich white folks, especially white men, and they would always say that Rihanna smelled really, really good.
Another person who's been said to really smell well is Lupita Nyong'o, right? Ooh. And she even looks clean. You know, some people, I feel like cleanliness, you can just look at a person and know if these people really take care of themselves or not. Yeah, and that is the case with Lupita. And I can even just make a clever guess that Jay-Z and Beyonce also make the cut of people who they have to smell good, right? Or is it me just judging because of the weight of their celebrity status?
Don't make assumptions. We'll only go with the black celebrities who've been mentioned to have been smelling good. But that being said, guys, let's watch and see what these speakers today have to say and which rich person's encounter was the most dreadful. And then we come back and talk about it. But you can also let us know what you think about this episode down in the comment section, and consider subscribing if you're new to our channel. Let's watch.
Rich people smell like shit or like nothing at all. I've seen some posts from fragrance creators talking about scents that are going to make you smell rich or how to smell like old money. I think that those are inappropriately titled. I think they should actually be called how to smell better than old money or how to smell better than a rich person. Because as somebody who's been around rich people for a lot of their life, I can tell you they're not wearing Loewe or Dries Van Noten or Aventus Absolute. So I'm an immigrant. I'm a child of immigrants. And a lot of the jobs that my family members held when we first moved to this country trying to survive was domestic work. Housekeepers, nannies, landscapers. And the thing is, unfortunately, a lot of domestic workers are dehumanized and seen as invisible. So they witness a lot that a lot of other people don't. So I've been around rich and famous people for a lot of my life, or I've been around people who have been around famous people. So I'll say that they smell like some combination of pipe tobacco, stale cigar smoke, horse stables, hair grease, and shit. Like adult diapers depends shit. That is a combination of words I never thought I'd say. It's not to judge people who need to use those. It is to give perspective to people who actually believe that rich and famous people or old money smells like Chanel No. 5. I had a family member who worked for an A-list actor. I was going through a magazine with her one day and she pointed to her photo and she said, "Oh, she loves my food, but she doesn't really like to shower and her BO is really bad and she loves hugging me all day." I had another friend in college who was at the Met and she stood next to another actor. She said that he was so close that she could smell him. And she said that he smelled like a dirty, sleazy old man. And there was also a time I was filming a podcast with someone from a very high profile family. One of those families where if you just say their last name, then you get it. She came to the studio wearing a $5,000 outfit. I went in for a hug, expecting to smell some sort of fragrance, and she didn't smell like anything, but she was wearing Chanel flats and an Hermes bag. So if you're listening to those creators, they're telling you how to smell rich or how to smell like old money, chances are you are going to smell a lot better than that rich guy with the yacht, because that rich guy with the yacht probably smells like burnt skin, expired sunscreen, and Michelob Ultra.
I also no longer hang around rich people. They stank. Rich people smell so bad, and it's because they've gotten all that money. They feel like they don't have to shower.
Actors who smell so bad no one wants to be near them. Number 1, Lady Gaga. In a 2019 interview, she joked that her assistant once asked, "When was the last time you took a shower?" She laughed and said, "I can't remember." Gaga has openly admitted she doesn't have great hygiene habits. Number 2, Drew Barrymore. On her old talk show, she said she doesn't wash her feet that often. Then she smelled her own feet on camera and laughed. They don't smell that bad. Number 3, Jake Gyllenhaal. He's always been honest about his hygiene. He once said he doesn't shower that often because he believes natural oils are good for the skin. Number 4, Robert Pattinson. During the filming of Twilight, he often skipped showers and wore the same clothes for days. In one interview, he casually said he didn't care much about cleanliness. That comment blew up online, and people still talk about his bad hygiene to this day.
Why do you think these designers are now making people sign contracts and policies when when you have to rent their clothing? Because celebrities and rich people soil these designers' outfits that they're renting because they've not showered or bathed in 2 to 3 weeks. You have some people who will post for y'all, go on trips, and not wash their ass for 2 to 3 weeks on end. They hopping on and off planes, access to plenty of showers. They just won't do it because they feel like they don't have to. They literally think their shit doesn't stink and that they don't stink. They bring a cloud of funk when they walk by. When you're invited to a rich person's home, the house is clean, but the person is fucking nasty. They have a bad odor to them, and that's because they've let money cloud their judgment. Why do you think you don't see rich people repeat outfits? Because they've stained up the shit that they wore. Skid marks and all of that. They soil everything they put on because they do not wash their ass. I don't hang around rich people anymore. When I told my mama that, my mama busted out laughing, but I am so damn serious. Rich people are some of the stankiest folks I've ever met, and I make sure I keep my ass around them.
Certain kind of men are nasty. When I used to go to an expensive private gym of mostly financially stable men who were very animated at showering, it was hard to not look because they took so long to wash other body parts and essentially saying they never washed their ass. This is absolutely true. People want to assume that men with bad hygiene are men of maybe a certain socioeconomic status. Look, women talk to each other, and I have talked to other women, and I've heard stories about them not washing their butt, not wiping well, and these are stories of men who are attorneys, business owners, money guys. These are high net worth people, the last ones that maybe you would think of, right? The ones who have access to the finest soaps and have access to time that would allow them to put extra care into their body, that would allow them the privilege of not working a blue-collar job where they get dirty and sweaty and they're out in the elements. The men that I know who have been the dirtiest had the least amount of reason to be dirty. It was just pure laziness and entitlement. And on the contrary, I have dated men who are blue-collar workers and they were immaculate. Bidets in the house. Clean, clean, clean. They smelled like Irish Spring and nothing else. You would be surprised. You see a man, he looks good, he's wearing all this stuff, he's got a Rolex, he's wearing fancy loafers. You can bet your bottom dollar, no pun intended, that he's got a dirty ass to go with all of those expensive accessories.
I charge extra to black women, right? Because I find if I'm on set for 4 or 5 hours, the smell they let off is off-putting towards me.
We're talking about the adult industry, no disrespect to them. I'm not using them as my representation for black coochie. Like, I'm not. I don't watch no white man blaming a black woman. And all you black women out there that work with these people, don't work with people who don't like how you smell. Most of the black women I've dealt with have been fine and smell great to me. I don't have enough experience with other races, but I refuse to sit here and believe that white box don't smell at all. But I can accept that maybe something in the diet or the way that we live might mean there will be occasions where someone smells differently. But the reason why this topic don't really shock me as much is because I had a conversation with people I know in real life who are not black, and they were like, the black women I slept with, they had this problem. I was a bit rattled by it. I was like, what are you talking about? Sometimes you have to go and say, okay, let me research it, because you know what, yeah, we get on the internet every day and someone talks about how Indian people smell. And we say, oh, it's the spices, it's this, it's that. So is it possible that there's something in the way black people eat with more spices and seasoning that might affect the way their odor comes across to others? Is it possible? I believe that we all emit odors, fragrances, scents, racially, ethnically. I think it's going to appeal to some and not appeal to others. Whoever don't like it, bun you. Whoever don't like what our women smell like, bun you. It was not designed for you. FUBU, baby. I disagree with what that guy said. In my experience, most black women have been fine. However, I can understand how people from somewhere else can look at people from somewhere else and view them differently.
8 celebrities who are infamously smelly. Number 8, Sophia Loren. The iconic actress reportedly had bad breath, which LED'd attention with co-star Marlon Brando. Number 7, Robert Pattinson. Pattinson has been criticized for his poor hygiene, including not showering regularly and wearing the same clothes repeatedly. Number 6, Johnny Depp. Reportedly embraced his character's grungy look by skipping showers and brushing his teeth infrequently during filming, leading to complaints from co-stars. Number 5, Jennifer Aniston. Aniston reportedly had bad breath due to her high coffee intake, which became noticeable to her co-stars during kissing scenes. Number 4, Clark Gable. The legendary actor suffered from halitosis due to dental issues, which caused discomfort for his co-stars. Number 3, Cameron Diaz. The actress has admitted to not using deodorants for over 20 years and believes that antiperspirants make people smell worse. Number 2, Charlize Theron. The Oscar-winning actress has confessed to not showering for a week at a time, which she finds comfortable. Number 1, Megan Fox. The Transformers star admitted to having poor bathroom habits, including not flushing the toilet and leaving her clothes lying around.
Why does everyone in New York City smell like poopy caca? Like, did we all just forget about deodorant? What's going on? It reeks. Everyone smells like shit. Like, how can I help here?
I have a genuine question. Can people not smell themselves? Like, you cannot smell that your breath is smelling bad. You cannot smell that your armpits smell horrible. Or are you just so comfortable with that smell that you think it's normal? Because, like, people are smelling extremely funky. And it's not okay. It's really not okay.
Bro, ain't no way we smelled that bad when we were teenagers. I just dropped my boys off at school, and my whole truck smelled like 6 bags of ass in a bucket in here. And I stay on them. I'm like, dude, you got to wash your taint, all right? You got to wash your taint. Soap, shampoo, wash your feet, your taint, your armpits. In a hurry before school, you got a little wiggle room with your arms, your legs, your chest, but you got to get to the important stuff, dude. I was like, y'all reek, man. I was like, y'all put on deodorant? Well, I was like, I don't know. I was like, get in my gym bag, dude. I got it. You got to put it on every day. Like, y'all are boys. You reek. Everybody around you gonna know you stink. Put your deodorant on. Use your soap. Wash your taint. Like, we couldn't have been that bad. Dude, were we? Females? When we were in like middle school, high school, did we smell that bad? Really? Surely not. I hope not. God, I hope not.
So guys, welcome back. Let us know what you think about the videos you just watched, right? Today's topic is not just exclusive to celebrities, but also wealthy white people, right? And in one of these videos on TikTok, I saw people, I was interested to look at the comment section because it's always where the fun is, right? And I was surprised when people said, a lot of people are coming forward with their, their experience, right? Mm-hmm. And there was one who used to work at a restaurant that was was serving wealthy people. And she talked about how a certain family, she didn't disclose which one, but she said it was old money. A certain respectable rich family walked in with the family matriarch. Yeah, she was old, probably in her 90s. And they walked in and the lady smelled like she had soiled her, I don't know if she uses diapers, right? She had soiled herself and she was in a wheelchair. They were pushing her in. So they went to their reserved tables and legit, they sat with that old lady without going to change her or check on her for a whole entire hour without flinching or doing anything, which is quite unfair to that old woman, right? But they sat with her with that stench. And by the time they were leaving, she says, she described an odor they left behind as death. Like what she called that smell, she said they left that smell in that restaurant even after they were long gone, and I was like, what kind of people, like, who gets so comfortable to a point where you guys have money, you could work with a nurse or you could work with I don't know, a personal caregiver, so that such things don't happen. But the fact that you've gotten so comfortable in acting the way you do, and then this also reflects on how they treat her back home, right? Because if they can't change her in public, or
not in public, just going to the restroom.
Okay, I don't mean as in they went in public like that.
Yes,
then
yes,
behind closed doors and or in their private estates, what do they do with that lady? It means they normally neglect her. Exactly, they don't take care of her well, And you look at the celebrities that have been mentioned here, and guys, like we've all watched movies, right? And you see the amount of personal space these people have to break in order to, create a certain storyline or whatever. So I'm asking myself, how do these people perform intimate scenes, being that someone like Robert Pattinson, right? I watched Twilight, Twilight Dawn and the other one.
We loved it back then. Before we knew that white people do not take showers, and if they do, they don't do it properly. We used to love Twilight, we still do, but right now, whenever I watch a movie and then an intimate scene comes along between white people, or a white person with a black person, or just an intimate scene involving a white person, right now, I usually find myself wondering how these people smell.
Right.
Do they smell good, or do they have the death? I usually ask myself a lot of questions in short.
And that also makes me wonder, because black people really observe cleanliness and hygiene, right? So I'm wondering, people like Lupita Nyong'o has acted a lot of movies where she was one of the minorities. Exactly.
Or even if not, especially, anyway, even if it's not in her love interest, it's someone who was in close proximity to her. Even Hannah has acted a movie where she was in the Marine Corps.
Really? I've not
I don't know. I think it was released in early 2010s. I'm not sure when it was released, but she acted a movie where she was in the Marine Corps. So I'm wondering, how do you not gag the whole day if someone comes close to you with that type of smell that is so pungent?
The money must be good, because if in the acting industry, actually I've heard about a lot of actors who do not practice good hygiene, and musicians as well. So I'm wondering, people like Lupita, how do they manage to act with white people, and yet you have to talk close to each other, you have to smell each other, You
have to smell their body odor.
Right. I'd like to know, if it's included in the contract that, I don't know,
what do they, can you continue?
The money must be good, because how do you force someone who doesn't shower regularly to do it for the sake of you guys to continue filming? How do they make them be considerate to their colleagues? And
I actually remember when they also mentioned Lady Gaga in this list. I actually remember that incident. It went quite viral. She was just joking and laughing about it, how she was on tour and she wasn't able to take a shower for, I don't know if it was 3 weeks. And for it to reach such a point that your own assistant asks you when was the last time you took a shower, and you think it's a funny thing, that a joking matter, instead of thinking of it in a way of, if my assistant risked her job, because she could have been fired, risked her job to call her out on that softly, you can imagine the level of stench and how she had finally had enough of her.
Right. And for someone to reach their limits to a point where the embarrassment embarrassment has literally left them. They're not embarrassed to ask you, and you are their boss, you pay their salary. It means those people, they've reached their limit and they're tired.
Right, because also just last week, there was a lady here in Kenya who was going viral. And the reason was, there is a place in Kenya, a touristic place called Kenya's Giraffe Center. It's in Nairobi, right? And she had gone there to feed giraffes, right? And when she got to where the giraffes were, she saw a big group of white people. They looked really clean, all of that, but she wasn't minding their business. All she wanted to do was
feed some
peacefully
giraffe.
walk past them and feed some giraffes. And she says,
Before she could even reach
that group of white people, the stench that hit her face, she almost fainted. The more she continued to proceed, the more the stench got stronger in that geolocation of those white people. And finally, when she passed them, is when she knew that very group was the people who are removing that smell. It wasn't even the poor giraffes. It was the white people blending in with the poor giraffes.
Anyway, guys, let us know what you think about this episode on the comment section. Also, consider subscribing if it's your first time here.
Right, because truly, people who do this kind of thing, they should really consider people who are around them, because it's your own body. We get you have the right to do whatever you see fit with your own body. But when it reaches a point where you're going in public places and it's affecting those around you, you have to take other people into consideration. Because I don't understand why a rich man like Robert, the actor, would go out into the public with the same set of clothes for days. He just wears the same clothes, because
these are people who can afford a house help. They can afford clothing. It's just a matter of removing that cloth and putting on another, and leave the one that you've taken off to be washed by the house help,
Right, because only poor people, you only expect poor people to be repeating clothes like in the manner in which Robert describes himself repeating clothes. And this makes me wonder if he ever reformed this behavior or not, because there is a recent movie he's acted with Zendaya. Zendaya is half black, and I don't know if she takes a shower regularly, but she looks clean.
She looks like a clean
but also
person.
Looks can be deceiving, but she looks clean. So how did Zendaya act intimate scenes with this Robert Patterson? Anyway, those are questions that I'm sure people will always have, but only these kind of actors have answers to that. Even Brad Pitt has fallen victim of being accused to be quite unclean. Jennifer too. Anyway, guys, let us know what you think about this episode down in the comment section. Also, consider subscribing if you're new to our channel, and we'll see you on our next episode. Thank you so much for watching.